Yo, welcome back to the FPL Den. And today's video is all about the players who we think should be included in your drafts if you have, played the wildcard already or are planning to play the wildcard. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. We have five teams here who we think should be targeted if you already played the wildcard. Uh, let's go. Yeah. The first team here we have is Chelsea. Okay, sir, do you want to take this one?
Sure thing. So a couple of, one really easy fixture. We know Martinez is not playing. We know Bundia is not playing. So the ball retention would be an issue as well as the saving. The defense is going to have a big impact here. I think Lukaku looks amazing for this fixture. So good that I can actually think about even captaining him. He's that good for this fixture. They've been conceding a lot of goals, Aston Villa, but let me talk about a lot of the other fixtures as well. See, Tottenham and City are a little difficult, there's no denying that, but then the thing is the run of fixtures, Southampton, Brentford, Norwich, Newcastle, oh my god, if you really want someone captain worthy, right, you want these kind of opponents for your captain to play against, to score against. All these four teams suck in defense, honestly. They concede 100 fucking chances each game. I'm obviously over exaggerating here, but that's how good these fixtures are. So not just moving away from Lukaku, obviously James, who's not going to play the next game, but then going to come in for the game after. I think you probably hold him off for a couple of game weeks because Tottenham and Chelsea look a little. Tottenham and City look a little difficult. And the thing is, we know Chelsea and their defense. See, he's always attacking, always creating those chances. He's already scored a goal and given 2 assists, which is huge. So he can do that. But even if you don't want to sort of take that risk, after that, get him in. I think definitely you need a Chelsea defender and an attacker for these fixtures. And I think Mason Mount is going a little bit under the radar here. He's very consistent. He might not give you like a double haul or something like that, but definitely someone in that price range with those fixtures coming up, you need to keep an eye out. I personally would like to go with a James and a Lukaku at this point, or maybe in 2-3 game weeks. But Mount, maybe not so much. But yeah, things can change very quickly in FPL.
Definitely. And honestly, I don't mind bringing James in for the Tottenham game either, like starting from the Tottenham game either, because they'd have a good track record against City, at least under Tuchel. So I wouldn't rule them out to, have a surprise clean sheet against City. And Lukaku, he makes a case for himself. Mason Mount, like you said, dicey. You may want to get him in. He is one of those players. If he's having his day, then he'll outperform everyone on the pitch. One more asset that I'm probably considering from Chelsea is Kai Havertz, but I'm gonna wait on that. I just want to see how involved he is with Tuchel because they do have a lot of options now. So yeah, that's that for Chelsea. Anything else?
Yeah, no, I think Alonso is a very good shout out as well. I think with James out for the next game week and you're planning to get in a defender for Chelsea, Alonso looks amazing. He was so attacking in all the games. He was playing very high up. So yeah, definitely he's another one to keep an eye out. But Chelsea as a whole team, I'm sure in the next 3, in game week 7, that everyone's going to have at least 2.
Fair. My only worry with Alonso is that there is a chance that Chilwell starts playing games soon, especially with Champions League coming, starting next week if I'm not wrong. So there might be some rotation when it comes to say the wing backs. So I would say hold on, don't make a call on Alonso right now. Let a couple of game weeks pass, then you'll know who's playing in what competition, and maybe then you can take a better call.
Yeah, so I think if you want a more sure starter, then you can also go for Rudiger. He's in the same price
Definitely.
range if you're looking defensively.
Yeah.
And another positive for people wildcarding this game week is that even though Tottenham look like a tough fixture on paper, they have conceded a lot of chances. It's been difficult for opposition teams to convert it, but Chelsea is a finisher,
Definitely.
especially with Lukaku.
Yeah. It's funny how Tottenham haven't been so good defensively, but a lot of people have transferred in Dyer and Reguilon. Moving on, we'll talk about that later. Let's move on to Liverpool. they do have an interesting round of fixtures too. Barring the two Manchester fixtures, they have about five great fixtures. They have Leeds, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Watford, and Brighton. Okay, I get it that Brentford and Brighton are good defensively, but Liverpool on their day can defeat anyone, and by defeat I mean they can score like plenty of goals. So here we have Trent, Salah, and Jota. I don't think there's anyone else to consider in that team. Maybe Mane if he strikes form, but it doesn't look very likely. He is scoring goals, he is assisting, but at this point, Salah seems like a better bet at just 0.5 million costlier than Mane. Jota, you can see his numbers: 8 goal attempts, 2 chances created. Chances created are a little underwhelming, but he's been playing as a striker, so I expect him to put the ball in the net rather than create. So that's that. And with Firmino out for this game week because of the ban that the Brazil FA have put on, I think Jota is a good option to consider. Trent, I mean, he's a set and forget player, right? Trent and Salah both actually. Like you get them in and then you just forget about it. You never transfer them out unless they break a leg or something. Kesar was like, even if they're playing with one leg, he'll probably keep them in. So yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to add for these three players or anyone from a Liverpool team?
Yeah, I'll take that first. So, I mean, I think if there's any time that you thought you could have three different Liverpool assets in your team, this is the time. Jota's guaranteed start to at least start the next two. That I really believe that with all the information that I've been reading and the news I've been getting out of the camp. And Trent, like you said, Trent and Salah are there to stay. There's no denying it. See, you need a lot of different captain options, in these coming game weeks, and who better than Salah?
Yeah.
And against Chelsea, he scored. So, it doesn't matter how he scored and, why he scored and all that. He still scored. He's giving you points. He is the king. He is the king of Egypt and he's the king of FPL. So, always remember that. The only one I think who's going a little bit under the radar. And if you really want to and you've got the fucking balls in FPL, you want to go ahead and have a differential in your team for a long haul. I think this is the time to get Robertson in. For a lot of people who are playing the wildcard, Robertson is amazing. He's proven it time and time again. And when I say time and time again, I mean the last 2 seasons. He is brilliant. You'll get clean sheets. You'll get assists from him. In fact, he's going to play over a long period of time. He'll play a lot more than Jota. He's fixed in your team and he's 7 million. So you technically get to save that 0.6 in getting him instead of a Jota. Right? So don't think of maybe 2-3 game weeks and then Jota, oh my God, what happens and all. If you're happy to get someone for 2 game weeks who's guaranteed going to start and give you goals, yes, Jota is your answer. Get 3, if you can, get 3 Liverpool assets. Otherwise, if you really want to get 3 for a long haul, go for a Robertson. That's something I truly believe.
Fair. Anything you'd like to add, Rohit?
Yeah, so see, most people I would assume have Trent at this point. So if they're looking to get Robertson, is it going to be, would you get Robertson instead of Trent, or are you looking to play a 2 Liverpool defense? Because that is a budget issue as well.
If you're on a wildcard, I would get 2 Liverpool defense because it's easier to move Robertson out for a Chelsea defender after a couple of after 3 game weeks if really needed. So yeah, that's probably what I would. Plus the thing is, if you invested a lot, like 7 million in your defense, it's very easy to move to a City asset in defense, or easy to move to a Chelsea asset in defense, or United asset in defense. So it's not that if you're stuck.
But it's not easy to own a expensive midfielder or a premium striker. Then, like, I'd love to know what you're smoking, but I don't see 14.5 million on Liverpool defense at this point.
They have looked pretty amazing. I think it's there for
But
everyone
see,
to see.
my point is that they have looked amazing. Okay, that's great. But Alisson has saved their ass a couple of times. And this game week, Alisson is not going to be playing, considering he's a Brazilian player. So that might just affect the clean sheet. And it's Leeds, they will play attacking football. They will create chances. So are you sure that Trent and Robbo will be able to keep a clean sheet without having Alisson behind them?
The thing is, like I said at the start of, the entire season when we had started off, A lot of people had Robertson and Trent in their team setup.
Yeah.
And the reason for that was because obviously everyone trusted Robertson. His numbers are there for everyone to see. He creates chances. He takes corners. He gives assists. He can give clean sheets. So there's not something that he can't do. And now that he's back, why would you suddenly change your mind? Like, what has happened in 3 game weeks that you're like, oh my god, he's not a good asset?
I'm
Nothing
not
has happened since then.
fair. I'm not saying he's not a good asset.
Yeah.
It's just that I'd rather have one of them than have both of them. That's just a
No,
personal view.
absolutely. I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. It's just that if you're looking for someone out of these 3, he's also an option.
Fair.
These are the top 3, of course. That's
Yep.
why we have them.
Yep.
in our PPT.
Moving on. Wolves. Now this might be a little dicey considering they haven't really scored, and but they have created a lot of chances. Jimenez, Traore, and Markal. Markal at 4.5. I think he's created 5 chances. We haven't mentioned that here, and that is brilliant, right? You just look at the chances created by the 3 of them. Markal at 5, which we haven't written down here. Jimenez at 10, I think that's the highest in FPL so far, and Traore at 9. 12 goal attempts for both of them. And look at the fixture list. They have Watford, Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle, Villa, Leeds, and Everton. I mean, they are bound to score goals, right, at some point. So, would you want to take that punt and get one of these players in, or would you go with an easier, like a choice that is, say, less difficult? Doesn't get any less.
Yeah,
of
sorry. I'll take that one. So just to start with, this is sort of not just with Wolves at the moment, but a tip for all the FPL managers out there. Don't get at least one player, one asset from Wolves. They're creating chances. They're not finishing at the moment, which is completely all right. It's not like they had the most easiest of fixture list, the first 3. So, you have to keep that into consideration as well. Watford, Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Leeds. There's no single team where you can say, oh my god, amazing defense. Amazing defense. I don't expect them to score at all. Wolves on the given day with the chances they're creating, they're absolutely unstoppable. You need to jump on to the next guy who's going to give you that big haul, not focus solely on the numbers in the past. So, which is the reason why I would definitely recommend everyone, because a lot of people are getting rid of Ings at this point. Jimenez is an absolute beast. Please get him in. If you've already got Antonio, then he is the next person to get in. With Traore, that price point is really good. So 6 million is a good price point. He's creating a lot of chances. His finishing sucks, to be honest.
Absolutely,
right? Everyone agrees. But the thing is, he's bound to score. He's going to get 10, 20 chances. He's going to score a couple of them at least, And it's not very difficult for him to get couple of 10, 20 chances. He's already created 9 chances. 12 goal attempts already, right? So it's not to say that, oh my god, how many chances is he going to create out of that? How many is he even going to convert? Even if he's converting 10%, 20% of his chances, that's huge.
Yeah.
In terms of defense as well, all the fixtures that you can see, a lot of fucking green there. Defense market looks really good. He's creating chances and he's playing really well, and he's only for 4.5, much better than a Samedo at this point, who's 4.9. I probably end up giving you the same sort of kind of return. So this is the team for most people who are making changes, or for Ings, not just for Ings, but also wildcarding. It's absolutely essential, I would say, to have at least maybe one Wolves asset, if not 2.
Definitely, I completely agree. If I am contemplating whether or not I should be playing my wildcard this week. With Rafinha out, I am really considering it now. Let's see where it goes. And if I do play my wildcard, I'll definitely get at least 2 of these assets. Markal and Jimenez are definitely on my list. Moving on, we have Leeds here. Rod, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So I think Leeds, apart from that Liverpool fixture, have a great run. I feel it's one of the best runs of all the teams we've discussed so far. Only issue is Rafinha is going to be out, and he's a major creator for them as well. That is a concern for me. But other than that, he's eventually going to come back after a game week, and he's going to do what he does. I feel Bamford Leeds have had a slow start, but I feel they are going to step up their game now. I think it's high time, and Bamford is also going to get on the end of those chances.
Fair. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention there is a possibility that Jimenez misses this game week because Mexico FA is planning to do the same thing as Brazilian FA. They are planning to ban players from playing for the next 5 days, which means he may not feature this game week. So keep an eye out for the news. Check if Jimenez is going to be available to play the game. If not, make the necessary changes to your teams. Moving on. Okay, sir.
I mean, in terms of Leeds, I think in terms of favorable fixtures, they are the number one team with favorable fixtures. No one can deny it. I think Bamford's going under the radar, even with difficult fixtures in the top three, in like the first 3 games, he's already given a goal and an assist. So I don't know if people are expecting like miracles, but that is a miracle. He's already got a goal and an assist with all the opponents they've already had. That's pretty brilliant. I'm not very sure about the defense at the moment because they're conceding a lot of chances. But Rafinha and Bamford both look extremely good assets. And the thing is, they're value for money. That's the most important thing in FPL. You've got only 100 million to play with. You need to get in players who are value for money, and no one really stands out more than Bamford and Rafinha. Rafinha's in more or less everyone's team already. If he isn't, and if probably obviously wait for Liverpool, he's not going to play that game anyway. Get him in immediately. That would definitely be my recommendation here.
Fair. So if you had 6.5 to spend, would you rather spend it on Traore or Rafinha at this point?
Rafinha because of the finishing.
Fair. I'm going to add one more player to the mix right now, and that's Damari Gray. 5.6 million, looking good, 4 chances created, 4 shots on goal, 2 goals scored. He's looked good. Digne, okay, wow, he's a good asset to have. He's dropped in price. He's available for 5.4. A good run of fixtures, except United. And DCL, again, like maybe a must-have at this point. So I have 2 questions to pose here, actually. I want both of y'all to answer them. Would you pick DCL or Jimenez? That's the first question. And the second is, would you get Gray, Rafinha, or Traore? If you had to choose one of the 3 and one of the 2.
I'll go first.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no one wants to go first. Okay, I'll go first. The tricky one. So I had that decision to make in terms of striker, and I got rid of Ings, and I had some money in the bank, and the decision I took was to get DCL in. I think with only Aston Villa and Norwich, the defense is much weaker. When you're comparing it to Jimenez, who's still, obviously the numbers are there, but he still hasn't scored. And the other option was Bamford as well. I might even have to throw him in the mix here. Again, Bamford's done really well, but I think with DCL, the trust is there. At least for me, he's proven it last 3 game weeks. He's probably scored in all 3 if I'm not incorrect. So, and you can see the XGI as well. It's not like he's overperforming, underperforming, things like that. He's doing exactly what the XGI says, and that sort of puts more trust from me in DCL. Long-term fixture-wise as well, DCL looks pretty good. So I've opted for DCL. I probably would recommend him to the others as well. And in terms of a midfielder, Rafinha, Gray, or a
Traore.
I would recommend if you are going to make the change next week, then Rafinha 100%. If you're making the change this week, it's tough. In fact, I can throw another player there. So
see, this is Wildcard, right? So think about it.
I know this is Wildcard. No, so Rafinha, Traore,
Gray,
Sarr, which has not been mentioned here. No, obviously a lot of people are thinking, why is he saying Sarr? But look at the fixtures coming up. He passes the eye test as well. He's just in the mix. I'm not saying you should choose him or not. That's obviously up to you. If I had to choose one, I would still go with Rafinha. because he's proven it last year. He's a trusted asset. And plus, the thing is, a lot of other people in your leagues would have Rafinha, so just cancel him out and focus on your other divisions.
Fair,
Yeah, that's always a good way to go.
fair. What about you, Rohit?
For my striker, I would pick DCL as well. I think the major this thing, if this week he was declared completely fit, he would in fact be a captain option for me because Burnley have the worst defensive stats at the moment, and DCL is a better striker than Jimenez because of his finishing. Plus, he's spoken about some sort of transform role under the new management, which seems like he is going to be the main man out there to score goals. So definitely backing him up. And in the midfield, Gray looks like a good option, but because of stability and past performance, I would go with Rafinha. I think in a budget midfielder, I want someone who can come off the bench and give a good return. So Rafinha is my pick. Gray, I'm not sure how he's going to be performing or starting in the long run.
Fair.
And who was your third option?
Traore, Rafinha, and Gray.
Yeah, see, Traore, he's a good option, and definitely with those amount of chances, he's bound to score at some point. But my concern is in the three picks, my concern is that he already has had so many chances and not even finished one of them.
Well, yeah, fair. Traore, goal scoring, not so much, but otherwise he can create chances. So if you're looking for someone to assist, he's probably the way to go. But yeah, Rafinha and Gray at this point do look better, and Rafinha definitely looks the best pick for me too. So on that note, also we haven't included United players, and I know a lot of people are probably expecting Ronaldo in this one, but we will discuss that in the next video. So stay tuned for that. And on that note, we would like to end this one right here. So like, share, and subscribe, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.